guys, so this is mainly the video for other guys that have been riding 450s like me for years and have thought about making the switch to a 350. For me, making a switch to the 350, I definitely like it. I've always loved the power of the 450s. They've always been a lot of fun because none of us really need the power of a 450, but it's fun. It's so much fun to grab the throttle and just feel the power. So I mainly ride 450s for the fun factor of the power. And I've always loved my Hondas. I really wish Honda could make a 350. If Honda would have made a 350, I would have bought that. But so far, the only ones that really make the 350s is the Husqvarna / KTMs. It's like the same bike. And those Bettas. They make a 350. They made one hell of a 350. I got to do the demo days of the Betta 350s. And it was a really good bike. I did not like how the front end felt of those Bettas, but the power delivery was phenomenal. Very great low end. But I'm gonna mainly focus today on talking about whether switching from a 450 to a 350. If you're a lighter built guy like me, yeah, if you're maybe a little bit heavier set guy, you may still want the grunts of a 450 because that was the only place I did notice where the 350s can lack. I mean, it is a smaller displacement. The low end power was not quite as much as that 450. That 450 could get you out of anything. This bike will too. It'll just take a little more. It's a very high revving bike. And so what I did is I got the 17 FX 350 because now I'm not doing motocross track anymore really. I'm mainly just focusing more on the enduro riding, and eventually we'll start doing the enduro racing. So what I did, this one's a 6-speed, really nice because I can gear it really low, so I can have a low first gear and still have a 6th gear for my high speeds. One thing I really liked about these European bikes, hydraulic clutch. So much easier to work the hydraulic clutch. Maneuverability, I didn't really feel like this bike was all that much lighter feeling. It did feel a little lighter, but not like an XR to a motocross bike lighter. The biggest thing I noticed was you don't have to try to hang on to this bike so much. You'll still have your power to go ahead and go and fly where you want to go up and still have the fun factor of power, but it's not like trying to shoot from underneath you kind of power, which is fun. But now I'm getting to the point where I want something a little that I can last a little bit longer on. This definitely has done it for me. Only issues I've had with the FX 350 is pretty much the common issues everyone's gone through. Is the flame out issue. I've got it dialed pretty good. I went with Twist Developments for the tunes, and they really helped get it dialed in better, but not quite perfect yet. So that's my 2 cents on that. Other than that, the only modification I've done to the bike was I opened up the air box, I installed the gold valves, which did help the plushness a bit, but it did not make these forks feel like my Showas with the gold valves. That's really about it. Other than that, it's all stock. I did put the exhaust on it because I live in California, so God forbid you don't have your spark arrestor. So if you're thinking about making the switch from a 450 to a 350, because you want something a little more chill to ride, I would. If you're still liking that big grunt power and maybe you're a heavier set guy, you may want to stick with 450. But if you're doing more tight technical stuff, I would definitely make the switch. The overheating issue that I had with the 450, I definitely don't have with this. But with this being an e-start bike and having a battery, I installed the Tusk cooling fan. So overheating's never been an issue out of all the riding I've done. I've taken this on a motocross track. I've taken it in tight single track, desert style riding. I've taken it in all kinds of riding. And it's done great. I've had no complaints. I still like it, and I'm happy I made the switch.
Oh, that goes steep. 350 is definitely a lot easier to hang on to going from the 450. Definitely not as much low end grunt, but man, you just wind it up a little bit more and you still got all the power you want. Definitely liking it. Suspension feels good and soft. It's able to hop from the 450 to this bike with no problem. Definitely prefer it on the trails for sure.